Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready to get back to the trading action? Yesterday was one of those days where I did better in the day trading side than the swing trading side. Let's see what happens today. You guys find out right here on, of course, live trading with Benzinga, and smash those likes. Let's get it started. It's going to be a fun one today. Seeing the market already leaking a little bit, but will we find the bounce here? Let's find out, team. Hit the like right here. Live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, traders, let's get to the trading action. I'll share my screen and, of course, bring on Zunaid. We got Zunaid in the house. Ryan will be out, just letting everybody know out there. Ryan will be coming back here tomorrow, and then we'll just swap it up. Zunaid will be out for the rest of the week, but we got Ryan, so don't stress, team. We're always going to be trying to be here as much as we can for you guys, but you guys always smash up those likes, right? Let's get it started. Let's get to the action. I'm going to share my screen really quickly here, and let's take a look here. As you're seeing NVIDIA today coming down a little bit, we'll be looking at NVIDIA yesterday. Oh my God, it got stopped out by a couple pennies, and this one would have been a nice kind of 1.5% gainer. Would have been a nice one here, that's for sure. So feeling a little bit of that FOMO, missing out on NVIDIA's swing trade yesterday by a couple of pennies. We'll see if it keeps going through the lows today. Bunch of lows around here on the 263 area where we could see some downside action, right? Take a look at the bigger names today. Microsoft, what's going to happen there? Yesterday, we were going sideways all around the 277. So I could see a 277 green to red move today. We'll see if the market wants to turn around or not, right? Will we get the cues to actually break down? Yesterday, towards the close, you could see the cues breaking down. Will we finally see the tech trade turn around? Yesterday, I had success at 18. We're trading at 19 now. We'll see what happens today if we can get some pullback on this action. But we'll be looking at this. I do have Valero on a swing trade to the short side. We'll talk a little bit about that towards the open here, 132.32. I got Pfizer on a swing here towards the upside. This is 40.26. And then I got Lockheed Martin that I got just a tiny piece. We'll see what happens on this one. Defensive name, right? And there's going to be a lot going on today. Things on my radar. We'll take a look at some lithium names. Those are higher after a U.S. and Japan deal on electric vehicles. This could keep pushing some of these lithium names higher today. So watch out what happens there. SGML is another one that I'm keeping on my radar. Let's see if it can get to 36 today. This is the one that was mentioned with Tesla and Elon Musk. I don't think that maybe this actually comes through or not, but just the outlook, I think, is definitely holding up this stock. You can see it sideways here, held what I call the throwback look. Now I'm going to look to see if it can take out the highs here, especially going to 36. And trying to move higher. That's SGML. And of course, you guys can take a look at some other ones, ALB, SQM. SQM is one definitely I'd take a look at as you did that kind of undercut and rally trade. We'll look to see if it holds pullbacks towards around 82.30s, 82.25s, gets through the 85, especially that 85.50. Close back above that, you won't be looking too bad on some lithium names, right? We'll see what happens today in the gold trade. Yesterday, we did get kind of a reversal back to the upside as it started down, ended up. So we'll see what happens there on the gold trade. And there's going to be a lot of trades moving around. Industrials have started to break down. They came back yesterday. I could see them get hit today. So just be careful out there, team. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like we could be leaking at any moment if we do get some banking concerns. And of course, big levels to watch. Yesterday's high, 398.92. If we can get back to 399, yeah, you can continue lifting and climbing the wall of worry. Below that, we might be seeing some turnaround. All right, that's going to be my outlook. I'm going to kick it to Zunaid. And of course, you guys in the chat, throw up stocks that you're looking at. So I want to give some shout outs before Zunaid starts. Carmen, Tony, Becca, Richard, Jan, Leon, what's going on? Good morning to you guys out there. Jan, stay focused. Beach Bum, Grateful, Wisdom. It's good to see you guys in the chat. Let's definitely get to it. You guys smash up the like today. Definitely, for some reason, my guest read is really off today. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but I'll go to the YouTube stream to check in on you guys. You guys smash the like. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes today. All right, let's get to the action and what else is going on.
All right, what's up, buddy? Good morning to you. Good morning to the chat here as well. Let's go ahead and start off with futures yesterday. So we went ahead and profited on the upside and downside on the futures yesterday when we played it. This is a 15-minute, but you can see nice and easy. Where is 4,000? Right over here. You got a nice little bounce in the morning. Obviously, no one was trading at 3 a.m. At least I was not. But you can see in the actual trading session, you can see a nice, beautiful bounce from exactly 4,000 and not a point lower. Beautiful bounce of about 25 points or so. And then you had, as soon as it went ahead and broke support, got to take it to the downside as well. And 4,000 once again held. Now we're trading around 4,000 on the ES future side of the SPY, of the S&P 500. Now we'll see how it wants to behave. Is that 400 going to end up being a bit of a resistance, or are we going to continue our way back up and have it hold a support? That's what you want to keep an eye on if you're trading the MES or the ES on that side of things. Let's go ahead and check out the SPY. Kind of like a similar story, right? Where you kind of found that bounce, but nonetheless, you are below the 396. So you had 396 that held on as support. Now you're below it. We can possibly expect that 396 to hold on as resistance. But I'm going to get to my favorite play of the day here in a moment. But let's go through the tickers as usual. You've got Apple that's now below 158. Let's see if this wants to come back and test 158. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and have let's have 200 shares short, and let's go ahead and risk about $75 and make about $75. So I'm looking at short Apple here at 157.97. And for those of you that are just joining us, this is TradingView that I'm using that is connected to my actual broker TradeStation. So this is real live money. This is not play money, but obviously this is also not investment advice. I'm just telling you what I see and what I am doing. I would not dare anyone to copycat, but let's go ahead and move on to Tesla here. Interestingly enough, this level had held as support. When it came back, it did not give us a clean retest. I did not play Tesla yesterday, but a nice little VWAP rejection. That's the yellow line that you're seeing right over there coming on down. Don't really want to play Tesla because it's not a clean level to me. So I'm probably going to leave this puppy here alone. Let's go ahead and check out AMD. AMD, nice little support found at the 95.50 area. We talked about the fact that you had a little bit of a bounce incoming to this. Now you're below that 96.50. Not quite sure which way this one will go. Let me go ahead and move all the drawings and just play out the main ones that I care about, which is going to be this 95.50 one. And I am, again, looking at the 15-minute. If you did want to try shorting it, you could look at 97s if you wanted to. But for me, I'm more so waiting for a break of 95.50s, 95s, and then maybe towards the downside, we can go on this ticker. NVIDIA is my main focus here today. So I actually have one contract here. You'll see it. I was short NVIDIA yesterday towards the end, and then I sold majority of my contracts. I did go ahead and hold on to one. So I am already in the 265 puts expiring this week. I have paid 466 on this one. What I am anticipating is a break of this 264. So again, this is a 15-minute chart. You can see we had resistance, resistance, resistance. Then we pop above and we hold on to that as support, 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 currently holding on barely as support. So if we can go ahead and crack and retest this 264, I would be interested in going short on NVIDIA. So this is the one that I'm looking to go short via equity and options as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at Amazon. Got the range here, $97, waiting for a crack of that to the downside for me to go ahead and play it. So I'm going to go ahead and set a cute little alert right there. Matter of fact, let me mute my alerts and no one yells at me. Cool, done. But that's the level that I have. To the upside, yeah, a crack above $99. Maybe you can go ahead and tag 100 and say hello. But nonetheless, a break below 97 short or 100 tag, quick little scalp short there. Let's go ahead and check out Google as this one faded away. As soon as it broke the 104, you can see you had support. As soon as it broke, never really even gave you a clean retest, unfortunately. But to the downside, we came. Not really sure how I'd play this one besides maybe the 102. So if we go ahead and look a bit left, You can see that the 102 has held on its support, Now we're below it. Now it's kind of acting as resistance. So if we kind of wanted to, I'm actually going to take a shot at this one and see if we can go ahead and short this one at approximately, what is that, 101.96 is what I believe I'm going to be short Google if it does pop up there, and then look to risk about $74 each way. Let's go ahead and take a look at Microsoft here. Microsoft, nothing really special that I personally like here. I'm going to move on from this one. It's kind of like in this range right over here. Possibly you can look at about the, what is this level? The 275. If this one goes ahead and cracks, matter of fact, let's go ahead and play that. Let's go ahead and put it right there. There you go. So that's the level right there. Let's see if it cracks below. And if it gives you that retest, you should be good. Another level to keep an eye on is going to be this 270 area. You can see again, support. Let's see if we can actually hold on to it if it does get tested again. So what you may want to anticipate and be ready for is a little drop below, then a retest, and then it can start maybe fading away. Or it can just say, hold on to support and just continue going. I have no clue. I already have 2 plays out there, so I'm not necessarily interested in this one. Meta approaching $200. Let's see if that holds for a little bit of a bounce. Maybe it'll give you 50 cents. Maybe it won't. I'm not quite sure. You can see it obviously held on its support here, and then it went to the upside. This time, I'm not quite sure what it'll do. But if this ends up being weaker than the market, could be a nice little level to play off of. Similar story here. You've got 200 that was acting as resistance a little bit yesterday. Then it finally popped up and gave you about a 70-cent move. Nothing too crazy, but keep an eye on this one as well in case it's relatively weak on that. Coin is something that we did get to play, and that was a beautiful fadeaway play yesterday for us on Coinbase. We played it through contracts because the equities are a little bit hard to borrow, but nonetheless, we made money on this one. So now, same story. Pay attention to the 60-67. You can see it's kind of held on its support right here, and here. If we do go ahead and crack, it could be interesting to the downside on Coinbase. Square, this one had nice little strength back after the short report came back from Hindenburg, I believe it was. So we'll go ahead and see how this one reacts. Don't really have a play here. If you're looking to play to the long side, a break of 66 would be something to keep an eye on. FRC, this one I could not short it, but because there were no shares available and the options were a little bit too spready for me. But you can see the $15 held as support. Crack retest was beautiful. We called it out for y'all in the morning, and you got a nice fadeaway for at least $1, then $1.50 later on. Something to keep in mind here is that I do expect $13 to be support. So you can see support, resistance. Now I do anticipate this becoming support if we do go ahead and test it $1.07 lower. Let's go ahead and see if there's any other tickers that y'all wanted to take a look at. Yes, Bob, I heard a story about how they're looking to split the company and then IPOs or something like that. Don't quote me on it. I just quickly looked at it. Got my ranges here of $2, 94 to the downside, 96 to the upside. So if you believe that, hey, this is going to fade away, cool. I think 94 is a level that you need to break. Maybe on the retest, you can give it a shot. Or if you think this goes higher, maybe touches 98 or 100, you got to wait for that 96 break. And possibly in the retest, you could go ahead and make the entry. Can we check gold? Yeah, I'm not a big gold guy, but I can go ahead and check out gold unless there's another ticker you were talking about. But gold itself here, I actually had marked gold. Yeah, there it is. I had marked gold a while back when I wanted to play it because there were options coming in, but I obviously did not get a chance to play it. This is not my specialties, trading this type of ticker. So honestly, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but it does look like 1850 could hold on as support if it does want to retest by 17 cents. I apologize, but it's just not the type of ticker that I trade usually, so I'm not too familiar with it on that one. Yes, NVIDIA 264, that's exactly what we had pointed out. That 264 is going to be what we keep an eye on. I've already got a put position ready to go, as in I had bought it yesterday and I swung it today. We will see how things get cracking over there. Let me scroll up, see if there's anything else. Someone mentioned MU. Let's go ahead and check out MU. I think 59. If 59 cracks, I could be interested in this one. You had a little bit of resistance right there, held on as support. Now, obviously, it didn't test fully, but by 16 cents, it held on as support. So if you're looking to play this one, I think you've got to wait for a crack of 59 to the downside. And right now, you can see 60 had held on as support, but wonky action here. But clearly, this area of 61.77 is what you need to break to fully have a breakout for the past couple of days session range. So that's what you've got on that. Where to check smoked tuna? Ask me that question again in like 45 minutes and I'll try to answer it. Where to check options on stocks? It's called an options chain. Depending on what broker you're on, you should be able to check it. We're less than a minute away from the market. Matter of fact, we are now live at the market. So the market's now open. Good luck to you. Stay green. And looks like something already triggered for me. Looks like it might have been the Google. It already gets stopped out or no, it's a question. And of course, TradingView wants to act up when we've got money on the line. Little refresh should fix that. Let's go to a quick double box. All right. We've got Google to the left as we are in Google. Ooh, look at that pretty penny, baby. Yes, Google. Look at that. Look at that. Come on down, Google. I'm going to go ahead and lock in these gains here for now. And then we've got Apple on the right-hand side. So Apple did go ahead and get triggered. Let's see what Apple has in store for us. Come on down. Look at that. First trade in the seconds at the market open, and we're already up about $80 or so. Now we wait for Apple to go and come on down. But more importantly, hope you all recognize the reason that I did take this trade. And nonetheless, my fill was here, and it's not like it was like I got filled all the way up here. So let me not pretend like it was a perfect trade or a great execution. I have to go back and see where my fills were. But nonetheless, I am short Apple here as well. Now on Google, this could hold on as support because we are testing the pre-market lows at approximately 101.60. So we'll keep an eye on that. And there's Google making new lows. I believe that is now close to being below pre-market. Oh, we forgot to check in on our bad boy NVIDIA. Look at that. NVIDIA coming on down. NVIDIA. Now we got to see if this level goes ahead and breaks or not. Quick little plot right there. But the puts that I have are looking pretty as they are up about $90 our contract, which comes out to about 21% gains on those puts. But that doesn't matter to y'all because this was a swing from late yesterday. Woo, my goodness. Look at Google just bleed to the downside. Now I kind of definitely wish I held on to some. Now let's pay attention to 100. So I'm actually going to see if we can buy 100 here. Let's see if we can gain about $50 and risk about $50. So now I'm going to look to buy Google at 100.04, risking about 50 and looking to make about 50 as well. Baba pushing hard. Let's go ahead and check out Baba. Yep, nice little move to the upside. Look at how it can't sustain itself.
Yeah, I'm looking at the other ones instead of Baba. I'm looking at like JD, PDD, companies like that. Or you could look at maybe like a C-Web. Right? That's also a different play today to look at.
Yeah, sure. And let's see. So Baba, obviously now you're going to test this 94, right? You're about 30 cents away. Let's see if that one holds and comes back up. Something for me I'm going to put up here. By the way, NVIDIA, just a bleed. As soon as we broke that.
I'm so annoyed about NVIDIA.
Yeah. As soon as it broke that 264, just a nice little bleed to the downside. The contracts are now up approximately 30%, but I'm not selling. Apple, by the way, target met on the downside. So now that is another profitable trade. That's 2 profitable trades in the first 3 minutes, which only means I'm going to give it
ripping through 1940s there, up almost to 1950s from 1905 out the gates to show you how hard technology is taking a beating right now. Out of that Valero swing, I was able to take a little profits out the gate towards 31.75s, but then stopped out the rest of it. So pretty much a break-even trade on Valero today as oil goes a little bit higher here. Be careful with those shorts there. Also, you could see Oxy right higher with that Warren Buffett mention. But yeah, the NVIDIA one's annoying. Yesterday getting stopped out by like just a couple pennies. If not, I would have had that one with a really nice swing trade. AMD now down to 95.29. You got a lot of bull traps right out the gates here today. So watch out there, team. Tesla's one that I like to the short side. I talked about it yesterday, but it already cut through the 192 area. Need to see it come back a little bit. But yesterday we were looking at this to short around 193. Oh, it had been looking great. Tesla down to 190s. I'll look to see if it comes back to VWAP. But good trading out the gates, my friend. GLL going higher. Lithium names getting a little bit of a nice push. Like that pullback to 36 there on SGML, which is a thinner stock, but really nice pullback to 36, continuing higher on SGML. Basic materials not doing bad there. Going to see what's doing the best. Coal, copper, industrial metals, and steel still having a good day today. So X in play for me. I'm going to take a look at X right now. See if it can come to like 25.50s here or 25.55 and then make a little move higher. I already kind of got there on the 1 minute.
You've got the Qs looking to break 307 as they are 14 cents below that. There's Apple making new lows.
SQQQs continuing higher through 33.70s. So nice little move there by the SQQQs. That's continuing a nice little up move. X looks interesting on pullback, but I'm slow to react today, and it's a fast day, team. So, hey, if you guys are on top of it today, shout out to you guys. Nucor looking interesting. Cleveland Cliff continuing higher. That's why I thought of X there off the VWAP, 25.60s. Now going to 25.70s. We'll look to see if that can continue higher. Lockheed Martin going a little bit higher, so that's not too bad for the swing. Coal going higher, so you can maybe look at like some coal players, AMR, maybe a recovery. CEIX getting a nice little lift there. Industrial is actually in the green here. Technology is where everything's getting hit, and financial services. So take a look at maybe those financial services, see if they go higher here or lower. I'm taking a look at the bigger banks to see what happens there with JPM, Bank of America. Are these going to get a nice uplift today, or are they going to head to the downside? Be careful out there. China stock, CWeb, how's that doing? Just pulled back below the VWAP. Doesn't look too bad on this pullback here. If you're looking for a VWAP opportunity there for some China names, I like the JD maybe off right here off the 40.80s. Let's try that right quick. See what we can get here. Oh, it already went up there. Damn, I'm slow today, team. I should have got an entry there, 46 or 41. It would have been 41.03. It went to 41.06 by the time I got the order ready, and it was already at 41.18. So I'm going to look for a pullback to 41 here on JD, but we'll see what happens.
All right, I am now long Google 100 shares at 100.04. We'll see how this one plays out. Risking about $59 and trying to make about $50 to the upside. You've also got the Qs that are cracking the 307. So what I'm hoping for is that we get a retest on the Qs of this 307, and that gives enough of a boost to Google to get back above 100. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can sell it around 46 cents or so on this one. It's not the greatest trade in terms of risk reward, but it is one that I am in. We've traded Google to the downside in profit. Let's see if we can quickly get a scalp to the upside in profit as well. Maybe it wants to test VWAP close to this 181 or so.
All right, team, canceling. It went right to my order. It got no fill, so I might have to jump up on the offer here if I want JD. So I'm going to give it a chance to try that entry again, which was 41. See if I get a cut down below, and then I can jump in the offer here. And then it comes back to 41.25s. But, yeah, it's looking like I'm not going to even get the entry. It's just frustrating today, team. That was a really nice outlook there. Just we'll see what happens. JD back to the upside. We'll see if it gets the up rip towards 41.50.
Someone wanted to know, I believe it was Carmen, if MU's earnings were today. Let's go ahead and check our Benzinga Pro.
No, they're tonight. They're tonight. I already know that one. I got you.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, it's going to be today after market close. That's been confirmed via Benzinga Pro. Appreciate you asking, Carmen.
There's JD already to 41.25s. And it came back, and I had the order out there, but I didn't get the fill. It went right to 41. Maybe there wasn't that many shares that traded there, but 41.30 is already on JD. So another trade that I was looking at was like CWeb off the VWeb. That looks interesting for the move back to 50-50. Baba, let's see if it catches the bid eventually. But I was looking also JD. Let's do PDD. That one's actually getting hit. Baidu maybe looks a little interesting above 158s. We'll see what happens on those China names. The SPY now recovering back to 395. Is it going to do a little bit of an up fake? We'll find out. Stock sales could be one of those ways to approach that up fake. We'll see if these bigger stocks can recover, right? Like Apple, Microsoft, Google. Microsoft and Google are really weak, so that if anything, those are like kind of the leading right now, downside action from the big boys. Let's see how weak Tesla is. Yeah, Tesla's pretty weak also. So I'd keep an eye on like Tesla, Google, and Microsoft to see if those recover. If they continue to leak, I think the market continues to leak with those bigger boys turning around. PVH did have earnings this morning. That's continuing higher towards 86.57. Get your Calvin Klein game on because that's definitely a little bit higher since this morning. I feel like it's a little bit extended, but hey, definitely some traders playing it. Levi moving off of like kind of sympathy in the space. So if you're looking for some names that are moving off of this, there you have it. Lulu, right? What about Lulu? Has earnings after the bell too, right? So we'll see what happens there in Lulu. And then Calmain is another one that has earnings after the bell. CALM, a defensive name. If the market really wants to go down today, will this get a lift? This one actually doesn't look too bad. Had a nice green candle, is pulling back majority of it now, and has earnings after the bell. That's interesting. I can't go after it probably for the earnings, but I might go after it for the intraday.
You've got Qs coming back down again. And of course, you also have Google that's about 9 cents below 100. Kind of want to go ahead and close this trade. I'm going to go ahead and close it here since I didn't want to hold on to that. I'm going to take my $26 loss here. Now, it'd be really funny if this one just goes ahead and turns right back around and hits the profit target. Now, my focus will go to the Qs as that one is at $1 below the 307. On the retest, I will be interested in going short the Qs. Matter of fact, 306.92. I've got an order out to short it with 100 shares.
Yeah, that steel play X was a nice one. Just missing a little bit slow to reactionary today. So not going to be too mad about it. That happens sometimes. Not ready for the bell. And hey, that's how it goes. So pinky on up, team. I'll just hang out, look for the move a little bit later in the day. I still have powder. Haven't even used the trade today. So just going to stick around, and then we'll look to see if we get some pullback opportunities. In this case, it will be like stocks breaking through lows, coming back to VWAP for shorts.
Boeing with a nice move above 201.50. So let's go ahead and check this out here. I might sneeze in a minute. Excuse me.
Like
there.
that one? You like that one?
I sneezed. I didn't hear it. What did you have?
I did a chew.
Oh, nice. I didn't even hear it because I was sneezing. Appreciate that. Yeah, so you've got the Boeing here at 201.50. So you can see a nice little clean breakout. And now let's see if we get a retest. If you get a retest around this 201.50, you can go ahead and see possibly this one make a move to the upside. Clearly, that has relative strength to the market, especially the Qs that are down almost 1%, where Boeing is up almost 8% on that. Let's go ahead and check out Google because I bet you that's above 100. Of course it is, because you dummy, you went ahead and closed your trade out. That's on you.
8 p.m. pushing higher, so that could reverse the market here. Banks are not a worry today, at least from what I'm seeing right now. And so that's the only thing that I'd be looking at. Does FRC maybe go lower? But the bigger banks making an up move here, we could see some reversal action. The big banks to me are such a focus point right now.
Yeah, Google is rebounding as it's headed to the upside. About 30 seconds before the 5-minute candle closes.
Not enough bounce yet. SPY is actually a lot stronger than a lot of names, right? A lot of names are pretty weak right now, especially in tech, right? Micron getting the flush. Man, they're pulling the plunger on that one. Look at that. That was a hard one. That could make Nvidia just continue to leak all day long. Man, Nvidia 260s now. Let's see. AMD. Let's see if that can come back to VWAP. Stocks S towards 1970s today. Nice 70-cent rip.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to short the ES on the micro side. So the MES at 4,475. Let me go ahead and pull that chart up for y'all here. So here we are. I'm looking to go short again. This is on Thinkorswim, but I'm looking to go short right about here. Is where I'm looking to go short near VWAP. My stop loss is going to be approximately 5 points higher. And my first take is going to be, my first take profit is going to be around 4,000. And let's see if I do get filled on that. By the way, Google should have stayed in it. That's on me, as that one did go ahead and hit our profit target. Duh. Man, that's annoying. It did not fill me just yet. So it looks like I got all the way this tick got all the way to the highs of 4,004. My fill is at 4,475. So at the moment, missed it by 75 cents. No fill. Microsoft lift. I mean, you got to bounce. I don't know if it's all right. It's chilling. It's hanging out. If you're looking to short it, I think this 274.50, 275 range could be something to keep an eye on. But 275.50 though, you got to go and cut your losses. All right, Google. That's on me. Sorry I didn't trust you. Sorry I didn't trust my gut. I knew I should have. That's on me. That is on me. Let's see what NVIDIA's doing. NVIDIA to
where's Ryan when you need him, man? I'm looking at a floating island play. Where's Ryan when you need him?
So you got to track his flight and see if he's got Wi-Fi.
NVS. I know he's listening out there right now. NVS looks interesting. They had early breast cancer trial results, and this gave them the spike yesterday. I'm wondering if we get a day 2 move and continue towards the upside there. Looks interesting. At least definitely spiked like crazy. I mean, from 83.50 to 90. That's a hefty spike there.
What are we thinking Apple-wise? Well, we were thinking about shorting it at 158, and we did this morning and closed out that trade for a profit. Now you can see VWAP is rejecting here at 157.50s. From here, where do we go? I'll be honest, I don't know. Well, I never know, but I also don't see a great risk reward until and unless, I mean, if it comes back to test VWAP, maybe, but this 158, I like a little bit more with the stop loss at 158.50, me personally. By the way, you do have the futures. So look, obviously this trade did not get executed for me. I missed my entry by 0.75, so 3 ticks. However, my thought process, I believe, was at least correct, because if I did go ahead and get that short, this right here was my take profit number 1, and take profit number 2 would have been at the 95s and the 90s. So if I have 3 contracts, I'm doing it in 3 different levels. Nonetheless, what I would have done is, if this obviously hit, I would have moved my stop losses to break even. But again, not in the trade. I missed my entry by 0.75, but I'm just giving you my thought process on how I would have played it if it did go ahead and it hit. Let's go and check out Netflix. Someone mentioned it. Faded away yesterday. Da-da-da-da-da. Looks like you've got a bit of support here that's holding on tight. around this 324.50 area. I think maybe a crack below 322.50s is the better play.
Banks look like they want a little bit higher, so that's why I'm looking at the banks to see if we get reversal. They're starting to push a little bit.
Oh, damn. Coinbase, those levels are coming out and playing here, 63.
Cruise line's getting a little bit of a bounce today. That's interesting. Airlines want a little bit higher here too. Just looking at it seems to me like it's a little bit of a mixed signal right now. Like we do have the techs down, but pretty much everything else into the green. Very rare times do I feel like I see this. So I don't have like a number to give you, but I can tell you not often do I see this. I'm seeing some of these airlines trying to go a little bit higher. So maybe I'm looking like maybe at American Airlines here off 14. Could also look for a reversal on like maybe like a sock sell if I wanted to get back, if I think tech's going to come back. But I'd rather stick to the other names that are strong, right? You're seeing X now towards 25.91. Talked about that one at 25.60s. That one's been a nice little raise now as X keeps on going. Cleveland Cliff getting a nice little pullback to VWAP opportunity here. Back through the 18s. We'll see what happens there. There's not too much upside on that one, so that's why I'm not jumping in it right now. Steel Dynamics, that's another one I'm keeping an eye on for today. That one's been on the pullback, but we'll look to see if Steel has a good day.
I'm going to go short Google one more time here. Looking at short, actually, I am short Google at 143. Stop loss is going to be 101.04. PDD, that support level from yesterday went ahead and held at 70.57s. Thinking about taking a shot at that.
Thinking about taking a shot on JD to the upside, but of course, a specialty retail.
I'll go ahead and take a quick little small position, 50 shares here on PDD. Stop loss is going to be low a day. And I'm looking for about 72.45 to go ahead and take some gains on that one. Let's go ahead and check out our Google trade. That short's working out now. We're about 20 cents in the money on that.
Yeah, Nvidia was one though. I'm still a little annoyed on that one, team. That one's a little frustrating one from yesterday's swing. I should have maybe just held towards my original risk on that one. But we had such good profits on the first move. I didn't want to give them up. All right, like this move back through 41. So I'm taking JD here. Trying to get in. Still haven't gotten the fill, man. This one doesn't love to fill me, I'll tell you that much. There we go. Got 41.03s there on the pullback. Now looking to see if JD can make a little bit of a move. This is the China play. Going to risk off the 40.89 level to look to see if we can get back there towards 41.30s and then towards 41.50s. Last profits towards 41.70.
On the NVIDIA short, I'm going to go ahead and close out my puts. As y'all can see here on the screen, where is it? We're up about $278 on that, which is about 60% per contract. So I'm going to go ahead and close that position out. Don't want to be greedy with it. So the only two positions I'm in now is a Google short off of VWAP and PDD with a stop loss below low a day. Let me go to a double box. So there's Google to your left, PDD to your right.
All right, so the JD, we'll look to see if we get it to the next resistance, 41.30s, 41.50s, or 40s, and then up there to the 41.70s. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Boeing continues to go. We talked about Boeing waiting for the retest of 201.50s, I think is your best bet, but it just keeps on flying high. No pun intended.
Boeing. How's the overall market doing now? It's at 395, 91s. We'll look to see what happens here. How are the big boys? Starting to see Microsoft almost back to VWAP. So if you think that tech's going to go red today, this is an opportunity to get short again on some of these bigger names. But my biggest thing is the banks. The banks are pushing right now. And so that's what I want to see if it reverses right now. I do want to go short on some names like, let's say, Microsoft at VWAP. Doesn't look too bad for Microsoft.
We're about 3 ticks away from getting filled on our short on the ES.
Tesla hit VWAP like twice. Oh no, mine kind of slowly adjusted there. It's almost at VWAP. VWAP is 190 area. That's where I'd look for.
Oh man, I really do want to go short Bobby here, but I don't know if it's smart. And the reason, I feel like I will just to like test my theory and see if I was right. So I'm gonna take a small 50 shares just to get my itch, if you
About
will.
to get out of JD there. So got hit there towards 85s there, out on JD. It pulled back. You could see that PDD trade probably could get down there, and Baba probably come back down to the lows.
Once again, the 4,475, it hit it, but it did not fill me on the short side. Walter, I hope you went ahead and got filled because I sure as heck did not. Oh my goodness. Whatever. Moving on. So that probably means, yep, PDD is coming down. Baba's short. Where's Baba's short? Let's go Baba. Let's put that puppy up here. So that short at the moment is working out by about 30 cents or so. We're looking to take gains that are on 92.82. Google moving a little bit higher. Don't like that. Realistically, what will probably happen is my gains and Baba will help pay for my losses in PDD. That's how I'm looking at life at the moment.
You're just pairs trading it, and you don't even know it, bro.
Yeah. Even a blind squirrel can find a nut or two. So let's see how this works out for us.
The banks are reversing here, so I might actually go for FAZ here. So that's the interesting thing. The banks reverse. I think the tech trade just comes right back down. So that's the hard part here. What do you go after? That's where you got to determine what you like right now. Like Google's rejection on VWAP there is pretty.
Showy is Tesla.
It's pretty.
Yeah. If this breaks this low a day, it could get interesting as that was rejecting VWAP as well.
If I can get 23.45s here, I'm looking at FAZ.
I'm going to move my take profit above $100 on Google. And I'm just going to move my stop loss below right there as well.
Seeing that quick pullback there. So I'm trying to get an FAZ. Just got a starter there. Starter at 23.50s. Seeing the banks reverse. So I could see the overall market reverse also. Look at Microsoft's rejection of VWAP. That was pretty. We just talked about that one. Look right back down. That's a nice little rejection on VWAP. And so I could see Google doing the same. Very similar move here, coming back towards 150s. I saw JPM get really weak there after it was trying to break out to the upside. So look to see if it VWAP bounces through that level and gets back up there. But if it keeps breaking down, and then we look at the other ones and we see some breakdown happen on those two, that's what I'm going to look for the FAZ trade here.
According to Pro, I believe we've also got Fed Bar's testimony. So be careful with any position.
That's at, I think, 10 or 11. One of those two times. It might be 11. Let me see. Oh, it's 10. So he could be speaking in the next minute or so. So, boom.
You've got Baba coming to the downside. I'm going to move my stop losses down just a little bit. With the testimonies coming on, I'm going to go ahead and close PDD for about a $15 loss and then close out BABA for a $30 gain. The only thing I'm in at the moment is going to be Google.
Banks turning around. See the SPY just go red now. There you go. Starting to cut down. All right, looking for ads on FAZ back towards 2350.
Let's see.
SPY did a wick there down to the downside. We'll see what happens here. We're definitely getting some numbers. It's not only the kind of the speak to, we are getting some numbers here. So I'm looking at them as they're coming in here. Richmond Manufacturing down -5 versus -10 estimate. Apple launches Apple Music Classical, a brand new standalone music streaming app. I know Zunaid's downloading that right now, right?
Not at all. I'm a Spotify guy.
You're not into the classical music, bro?
Not even a little bit. PDD looking to test VWAP one more time.
All right. Got the pullback there on the 2350s for FAZ. We'll see if the SPY rebounds back above VWAP, or does it cut through the 395 on the downside? Really looking at also the banks, because the banks kind of push higher through here through 129.30s. I feel like we could just reverse this market. The market's looking to see, I think, if the banks are going to come down today.
You've got consumer confidence that come out as well, by the way. We'll talk about that here in a second. Someone asked about SI. I looked at it earlier. It was at VWAP, and that gave it a little bit of a bounce. If I go to the 1 minute, you can see how it had tried to bounce from there, but unfortunately could not sustain it. I personally would not play this unless it got to $2. My stop loss would be about 195. If I were playing this, I am not. And you can see how $2 held earlier. What is that, about 201s? Yeah, that held earlier. Let's see, VKTX. Ticker that's being mentioned on social media. Let's see if it breaks out 14. Ooh, but you got VWAP right here. Let's see if we can take a crack at VWAP if it wants to come test it.
I like awkward bathroom guys. Like, Tesla's confused. I hear
Aren't
you,
we
man.
all in life?
We're all confused. What about $10 puts on DB for this week? Ooh. Getting a hard pullback here in FAZ. We'll see what happens in the bank. Does the banks just go higher here? And the SPY recovers VWAP. It's right at VWAP right now. There was a huge wick that came in there. I don't know if that was just like a big order that filled. So we got to see what happens. JPM trying to go higher here. If the banks get higher, that's where I think the SPY can recover, and even the tech trade could recover there. Just be careful out there. We'll see what happens. Look at the Qs. That's a big wick there. Already getting that downside action. JPM looking like it wants to break out here, team. I'm about to get cut out of FAZ. JPM right back to the highs.
Yep, ES is once again back to the upside. VWAP for me is right at that 4,475.
JPM rejecting right near that high 129.25. Going to look to see if it takes out 129.30s. Kicked me out of that FAZ. We'll see what happens. Q's coming back for the VWAP now. Look to see if it gets back up there. How did the big boys turning around a little bit? Microsoft didn't even get to the intraday low. Google came back to VWAP a couple times, have tapped it, but hasn't really gotten above it. Footprint showing a return to positive delta post reversal. Dun, dun, dun. Netflix strong, says Jeannie.
What are you going to do, ES?
Check some of those lithium names. ELL on the pullback there. That's interesting. ALB had some unusual options mentioned for March 28th. See what happens there. Gonna happen with these banks. Could it be that the bank's concern is overblown? It's so hard to determine. That's why it's so binary right now with the market. It's either we could continue just climbing the wall and the bank's concerns go away, or bank contagion hits again and we just get dumped on. That's where it gets very difficult as a trader.
Google went ahead and rejected VWAP at the moment, short term. So here's where it gets tricky. I mean, I want to hold this position for a lot longer of a bigger of a gain, but
in this market, you've been doing well by just taking those little quick ones, man. I can say at least for the day.
Yeah, and that's why if it comes down to test $100 again, I would look to close this position out, but we shall see. By the way, if anyone in the chat drives a 2021 or newer Kia K5, let me know what y'all think about that car.
Dun, dun, dun. Zunaid's on the shopping list.
Yeah, we went ahead and put a bid in on that vehicle yesterday. We shall see. We're closer. We're closer and closer.
Ah, you auctioning that life?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Oh, here comes JPM to stop me out. Boom. We out, team. We out. Banks coming higher. SPY going higher. Could see reversal in even that tech trade. So just to kind of do my last trade of the day, I'll take one more. I got 2 strikes on the day, but I'll take it based on what I see, at least what I think could happen here. So I'm taking stocks L, or at least trying to get in it.
I did go ahead and get filled on my short on the ES at 4,475.
There we go. Got a little piece there. Stocks L, 1523. We'll see what happens here. If I do miss on this one, this will be strike 3 and I'll be done for the day. Had a really good day yesterday. We'll see if I'm able to bounce back. SPY trying to go higher here. Let's see if it can keep pushing. Let's see if the Qs can recover the opening price. Opening price is 308.04. So we're ways away from there, right?
Netflix with a beautiful rally off the lows of about 322 where it found support, similar to a couple of days ago. Just did not give us a good entry, in my opinion, from what I was looking out for.
I don't think
that's a good question,
confidence
Dan.
numbers.
That's a good question, Dan. No, I think it's the ones that don't have start stop. That's a good question though, and that's also the Hyundais and whatnot as well. But good call out.
Consumer confidence. I don't know if consumer confidence is strong though. I mean, I know that the survey might say that, but is it strong? It's tough. It's been a tough market this year with so much uncertainty, right? And these are the hardest times to really, let's say, long-term invest. Soxel now pushing back, Q's back to VWAP. Let's see if Soxel can get back to VWAP. 1544s.
I'm going to go ahead and stop out of my short here by about 2 points. I just went and closed my short position. Got in at 4,475. Got out at approximately 4,007.
Looking for the move towards the 44s, 45s for Soxel. Here's the Q's pushing higher. That should give me that little uplift there. So we'll see if the Soxel move can get up there. 1523s is the average here.
Stopped out on the Google trade. Now short the Q's at 306.92. Forgot I even had that trade there.
Almost to the 40s here on Soxel. Banks, let's see if it goes higher. It's right off the top there for JPM. It still didn't give that expansion to 129.50. So looking to see if the banks go a little bit higher here.
Come on down, Q's.
JPM now rejecting that resistance there. I think it's going to be all about the banks today, team. People are watching those banks. They have an eye on it. Banks rejecting a little bit here. JPM at least.
Let me see if I want to fool around a little bit as well. Q short working out at the moment.
JPM just playing. Got up there, touched it multiple times, just didn't get through that 129.30 area. So I'm looking to see what happens now.
Question in the chat from James. I don't know the answer to this, but maybe let's see if Mitch does. What happens to SVB now that they are getting bought? The ticker says 25 cents. The buy price basically locked in because of how much the First Citizens to pay. So typically, whenever you have an acquisition that takes place, yes, the stock price will go right near, maybe not always, where the buyout price is. And once the deal closes, you go ahead and get your cash or you get your stock, depending on what type of purchase it was. Now, with this whole bank situation, that's what I'm not sure about. Mitch, I don't know if you are, but in a typical acquisition, I know how it works, but not with this bank situation.
Yeah, there's too many questions with what happened with their assets and how that will work out. I think this will play out in courts.
Yeah, see if Google has an answer for you, because unfortunately, I'm not quite sure how this bank situation will play out. So yeah, if that is a new ticker, then
I think it's going to play out in courts, so just be careful with that. OTC, that could be it too. OTC markets, it just opens up there.
all right, Meta as it approaches $200. We are now short Meta. Stop loss is 255. Looking to take gains at 199.35. $60 loss, $60 gains. Come on down, Meta. There we go, baby. Got that $200 rejection at the moment. We're in two positions, so let's go to a double box. You've got the Qs to your left. Excuse me, you've got Meta to your left. My apologies. And Qs to your right. NVIDIA reversal. Let's see. It's coming to test VWAP. I would expect it to go ahead and reject this, especially if the Qs continue rejecting 307s. And that's where our money is.
Now JPM looking like it's trying to come back again, but really hasn't made the move. Q's trying to go higher here, 307.10s. But what I think it is just JPM. Like I'm looking at the banks. Do they go higher here? You look at KRE also. See KRE here on the left, how it's trying to break through the highs. I think the banks are kind of climbing that wall of worry, but of course this could always flip, right? We'll see what happens, but definitely it's trying to push harder and higher. That's why I'm looking at JPM to see if we can get through that high. You can see Bank of America higher, Goldman Sachs higher, even FRC. Let's try to get up there. Let's see if FRC pushes up here through 14 as a little bit of a lag play.
So on the Qs, someone asked, who was it? Wellness Matters saying Qs ripping. Yeah, so taking a look at the Qs here, you had the breakout above yesterday's high, then you had the retest. That's your entry. That retest is where your entry is. If I was going to go ahead and play the stock with a stop loss of maybe about 50 cents or so. By the way, Meta's moving to the upside. That one could stop me out at about 20 cents or so. So that was a nice little entry point for that ticker right there. Someone else had mentioned something else. Grateful said, Zunaid, on how much do you set your profit? So I would say in percentages, I usually, if I'm doing weeklies, I have my stop loss at about 20%. So what I try to do is quickly mentally calculate, hey, I'm going to purchase, let's say, $2 worth of contracts here. And if my stop loss gets hit, it'll be worth approximately $1.60 or so. The Greeks can help you with that. I am not good at it, but I just get a rough estimate of what I believe will happen. My stop losses are more so based on the chart. However, my stop loss in terms of dollar amount is based on where I believe the price will be when I get stopped out at the chart, if that makes sense. But so if I'm getting in with, like, let's say $1,000 worth of contracts, my stop loss will be about 200 bucks, 250 bucks or so. And the gains will be 250 bucks, 400 bucks, things like that.
Looking to see what happens. The banks aren't really, at least JPM isn't pushing here. So there's some other ones, right? The KRE was kind of a little bit higher. That's pulling back now a little bit. The Qs are battling here, but still hasn't really kind of give us that breakout to the upside.
Yep. Oh, looks like I did go ahead and get stopped out on my meta trade. Let's go ahead and check out the Qs. Seems like that one's right above it as well. Possibly thinking of just closing this one. Let's see. Now we're just going to hold on to it. We will stick to our guns, my friend. Tesla retesting yesterday's lows. Yep, it sure is. Good call out. And what a rejection that is, right? So, matter of fact, that support turned into resistance. That, similar to that QS, or excuse me, similar to the block trade on the retest, this was a nice little short opportunity that gave you 50 cents. And that's actually similar to why I'm shorting this Qs. Let's go to the 30-minute. Let's go ahead and take away the VWAP so it's a little bit cleaner for us. So you can see how yesterday you had this area, right? And the before yesterday that was holding on as lows. So that was holding on as support. Now when it retested it, I'm going short. So that's the reason I am in that trade. Any thoughts on uranium mining stocks? I have zero idea about any of that. Mitch?
I got to take a look at it. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days, so just give me a second. I'm trying to close some of this stocks out, but looking for another little push here into the 1540s. I might have to run to it because I'm seeing the Qs turn around a little bit.
Let's see if I want to buy. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Qs 306 puts for today. I paid about $274.
Paid myself in SOXL. Just, you know, we've had 2 red trades, so wanted to make sure I paid myself on SOXL. So just paid myself well there. Now we'll look to see if it can continue going, break even on the rest. Need the banks to get another uplift, and I think that that's what's going to drive tech a little bit higher. But if the banks come back down, you could just see an instant washout, I feel like, right back on the Qs.
So the Qs are now down. The trade has met the 1-to-1, but we are looking for a 2-to-1. But nice little play on the Qs. Again, the contracts that I got in at were the 306 puts with an average cost of about $275. They're currently trading for about $268, so you can get in cheaper if you believe in the thesis yourself. But I'm just explaining to you exactly why I got in, and there's no guarantee that I will be right. Long SQ. Did you get it off the retest? It's currently sitting there. You believe Baba's bottomed? Well, let's see. Well, yeah, I mean, if you believe that, then stop loss for me, if I believe that, would be low a day, the break of low a day. So you're risking about 70 cents for a possible move to above a 94, because that's where you can see clear resistance during the trading session at the moment. Meta decided to go ahead and wick me and come right back down. That's good. If you believe in the market turning around, this $200 could be a nice little play for you. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, Qs. Give me about another 30 cents to the downside. Just flush it. Let's see what else we got up there in the Twitter world. Or we could get a Honda Accord, chat. What do you think?
JPM went right towards that 129 129.29 and then just
Switch you
stops
up.
right there. Let's look to see if finally JPM breaks through that 129.30s. That's what I think reverses tech a little bit here, but hey, we'll see what happens, team. Will the banks go higher here? Let's see if KRE is pushing higher. There you go. You've seen that like the push. I'm looking at even FRC as a play here, potentially. If you keep seeing this kind of action happen today. And you know I'm not a fan of FRC really, but maybe if you're just day trading it, but I don't know. Look at that rejection again from that level. Look at that, team. Look at that. Another rejection in the 129.29s. I don't know if there's a hidden seller up there or whatever's going on in that JPM, but I'll tell you one thing. Doesn't want to go through 129.29 today. Hits 129.30, turns around. 129.30s turns around.
I'm going to short the ES once again, or the MES, excuse me. I am short at 4,275. 2 contracts at the moment. Looking to add one more if it can get up to 4,450.
Break even, Soxel on the rest. Out break even, Soxel on the rest. So glad I paid myself, because what would have happened? We would have ended up probably losing on this trade. The banks turning around is what's affecting it here. And so that's why I think, yeah, now you could get the tech takedown right back down. So you could be looking at those types of trades. Google looks good to me because it's above VWAP here. So I'm looking at Google right now.
Yeah, the Honda Accords, Miss Whitehorse, are the old reliable, you know? I was trying to go for the new and sexy thing, but I feel like at my age, you gotta maybe go for the reliable thing.
You sexy thing.
We shall see.
All right, trying to get Google here. Trying to get short on Google. All right, just come on. Man, today is not the day for me on fills. Holy moly. How did I not get a fill there? That's just frustrating. I hate chasing. Looking for a bounce on Google to get short. Not having a good day, at least today on fills. Earlier, should have had to fill either. Come on, Shitadell. I'm not going to get the fill. Yeah, I'm missing it. I have to chase it now. Good Lord, I hate chasing.
Get a Rivian, they should be cheaper. That's funny. I'm actually not the biggest fan of electric vehicles, especially because of where I live. The condo doesn't have a charger downstairs.
Looking for a bounce in Google, team, but it might just flush out. I'm already 15 cents. Well, a little bit more, 20 cents from where I was originally going to enter. Just didn't get the fill. Put the order out there, and it just blew right through it.
Becca, I love that. That is freaking awesome. By the way, Q's trade did go and work out. We took gains as it did go ahead and come down to our limit order. So that's working out. Our MES trade is working out as well. We are now about, 3 points in the money. But what I honestly want is for us to go ahead and break this 4,000. That's the big, big level that I want us to break. And then the next stop is this 39.95. Z looking up like now I've got a monitor up here where I'm monitoring the ES trade, MES trade, excuse me. One day I'll be a big boy with ES. But yeah, Becca, that sounds fun, especially if you're like on a nice little date outside, watch a movie. Oh, good old college days.
Yeah, I have the RAV4. Definitely works. Gets the job done.
Here's 4,000 on MES.
Rails and retail, Jay? Yeah, I mean, we did see some retail going higher, right? Now that's turning around. I'm going to get frustrated on that Google trade. That's a little... It's just not getting the fills today. I mean, can't get mad about that.
And just like that, 4,000 goes ahead and holds.
And just like that, JPM does a little bounce.
You've also got VWAP at 4,005. All right, break of 4,000. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, what a dumbass. Let's stop this one up. All right, next stop is going to be 39.95. 39.95. Meta really said, stop. I'm going to stop you out and come right back down to your profit targets. Nice, 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 nice. Well done. Well done, Meta. Well done, Meta. If anyone did take that Q's trade on the short, you're now $1 in the money. The contracts that I have are up 10%. I'm going to go ahead and close out of... I have 4. I'm going to go ahead and close out 3. I'm going to keep 1. All right, close them at $3 on the bid. That's about 26 cents per contract.
And to Google.
Were you trying to go long or short there?
I was trying to go short, bro, but just no fill, man. It just blew through my fill.
Gotcha.
Right when I put it on there, it just went, oh, I'm going to drop 10 cents right through that. Forget that.
Gotcha.
It's one of those, and I hate chasing. Like, I hate, like, if I miss an order, just being like, oh, no, I'm going to jump on the next bid. The next bid. So I had to watch there, but it was a nice one because it was above VWAP. I was looking for stocks that were above VWAP in that case because the Q started to reject. The banks rejected one more time from that 129. And I'm looking at the banks, right? Because I just feel it's the banks. I know that some people are pointing elsewhere, but I just feel like the banks is what it's all about. Banks start getting weak. Yeah, this tech trade will get weak. There's Google now to 180s. So I'd be up about, what, 60 cents, 65 cents on that. That would have been my bounce back trade, at least to get back to green today. I'm just going to be slightly red, at least stocks L. We took some profits, so we was able to get some back. But we'll probably have a red day for the day trading action. We'll see what happens a little bit later if I can get into some swings. But even there on Google, maybe I could have shifted from a day trade to more of a swing trade. And then I could have gone after it on the bid there, which would have been around the 25s to 20s. But it happens, team. We'll see what happens there. Microsoft, will he cut through the lows? There you go. Now you're cutting through that low on Microsoft. So you guys see how weak tech is starting to get. There you guys see it. Boom. Nice little cut down through on Microsoft. So that was a really nice VWAP fade. That one didn't even go up like a couple pennies away from the VWAP. So really nice fade there on that one. Hope somebody was able to make the cash today. And I'm normally the shorter. So you guys can see today, sometimes you're not going to always execute at their top. And that's how it is sometimes. SQQQ's new highs. Poof, look at that. SOX probably new highs. Look at that breakout there. Google now to 170s. Definitely going to get frustrated about that one. Should have been able to nail it. NVIDIA, another one that I should have been able to nail. I didn't want to come after it today because I already had the FOMO because I had it at 269. It's down to 260s today. I would have been 9 points on that trade. And that's when it gets a little frustrating. But what do you guys name?
Yeah, so on the Qs, went ahead and closed out the contracts. So those were sold for about 23% gains. So we are out of those. MES, the short that we had, we are all out as we went ahead and got our fill at 39.90.25. Out all three contracts. Beautiful trade as we went ahead and shorted the MES and the Qs off of 307s. Oh, man. For my next short, I'm thinking about Google and this break of 100. Possibly going to go short if this wants to come back and test VWAP. Matter of fact, let's see, man. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out. If this candle, yeah, I'm interested in shorting Google, but I want to see how this candle closes. Thank you, Walter. Hopefully you got a piece of that as well. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not quite sure if the, I know the Q's trade was obviously, I mean, all my trades were based off of levels, but with the homeboy talking, that may have helped with the volume that we got on that. I mean, that's a big move right there in terms of points relative to what we have seen so far in today's trading session. Boom. Let me know if you guys have any other tickers you want me to take a look at. But at the moment, if this does come back, if the MES does come back to maybe test 4,000, I could be interested in a short. But I don't want to continue being greedy, right? I made my money. I'm happy with it. I'm doing good. I might move some funds back to TradeStation so y'all can see it. The only thing annoying about it was that I had to, if you guys remember, if you've been here for a minute, I would have to continuously change accounts to short or to go long or to play the futures than the equity and the option side. So it just got kind of frustrating where here I've got money in Thinkorswim for my futures and I can just have it on a different screen and it works out well for me. But I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. MDB, let's see here. You've got a little bit of support. That's cracking, but it's not the cleanest chart in the block. Let's go ahead and clean this puppy up. Let's go regular. Let's take that out. We could try a little bit short here. And it's already gone red to green. It's obviously on a downtrend. I'm going to leave it alone. Can I have a look at PVH? PVH. What is this? I'm not familiar with PVH, but oh, there it is. I was like, where's the stock? Oh, there it is. Hello. To the upside, why don't you? All right, now you're testing the upper side right here. So if this 88 holds, you've got about 6 minutes on this 15-minute candle. If this 88 holds, you can look at an entry, but the stop loss. So the closer you get it to 87, the better, because obviously this 87 is held as support for the past 15 to 30 minutes, but you've also got the VWAP help here near the 86.72. So it's kind of like if you were looking to go long here, you could maybe try going long with like 25% of your normal size and try to capture move to 89 and 90s. But I think the closer you can get it to 87s in that VWAP area is the better entry place for you. But you don't want to miss this breakout either. JPM rebounding. JPM. You've obviously got a clear resistance area here on JPM. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but nonetheless, the 129.50 area seems to be resistance. And you've, of course, now got support right there at the 128.48 level. Breakout about 129.50s. Netflix. Yep, Netflix to me, if the closer you get it to 328s, the better. 328s is where I would want to be. Let's see what emails we just got. Nah, that's okay. Let's see what else we've got going on. Qs.
SPY still lower, right?
Well, haven't broken the 39.90s on the MBS.
Looks like we're still going down on the tech names. So, man, that stocks ass from yesterday. Maybe you gotta. I don't swing too many stocks ass, but man, that was a nice one. 18 yesterday. That's been a nice trade today. Big break right out the gates. How'd the oil do? Oil staying strong. We'll see if it turns around today, but definitely a tough day overall for a lot of stocks now as we start to see the changing. So I'm going to look to see what's starting to get into the red. Technology is almost a point in the red. Healthcare into the red. Cyclicals just slightly into the green. We'll see if financials get to the red. Energies and utilities getting an up move today. So if you're looking for up action, energy and utilities seems to be it. Industrial is not looking too bad, but have been pulling back significantly since about 10:15. We'll see what happens on some of those.
Microsoft is at low a day. We've got about one contract remaining on that one. Where is so Google again? $100, right? It's holding. It's holding the 100. I'm going to look to get into some Google short at around 144 if it wants to give it to me. Take care, Richard. Short Tesla. So Tesla's right at that support area of 188 that's it's been holding on to for about a couple of days.
8 p.m. now below VWAP, rejects the VWAP there. We'll see what happens. Do the banks start to get hit there? KRE looks like it's trying to turn around to the downside there.
Come on down, Microsoft. Come on down.
Google screwed me.
Well, we'll see if we can get it back for you in blood. As we're looking to go short at 144, we may not get the chance. 1:35 left in this 15-minute candle.
Oof, man. Put in a nice one. Meta looks interesting here. That one got up there and now is starting to drop.
Yeah, we were short Meta at 200 and we literally top ticked our stop loss, which is not what you want. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, right? Because it is going lower now. It's just more like a little spike that stopped you out, but it does look like it's definitely cracking there. Disney going back to the red. Netflix that was stronger. That's pulling back the VWAP. I don't think that's going to stay strong all day if it continues like it is, but we'll find out. It is pulling back below VWAP. That one had a nice push before to 333s. Now has pulled back a significant amount.
Haha, very funny armor plates. We can see it on our right what the prices are. Come on now. Come on now.
Amazon, I think it's all about the market right now, right? I think the market's moving like kind of like a win-one right now. You're seeing a lot of big names getting hit today, and I think a lot of that is you're starting to see turnaround in the bank trade. I think you got to look to see what happens, right? I mean, that's where the concern is in the markets, and then seeing technology turn around, right? Well, you're seeing a really weak technology today. That is definitely for sure. And then the banks are just kind of hanging in there today. They're not really green. They're not really red, but they're not doing much. Rashad, I'm good, man. I'm just taking it easy now. I'm just frustrated because I mean, should have easily got that fill on Google, but it is what it is, right? That would have been the bounce back trade to get me into the green on the day. It is what it is.
Someone asked about Amazon. Who was that? I can't find it now. There's no way I'm this blind. Oh, because it's all the way up there. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Stay focused. All right. Well, maybe I should have and realized what your name was there. To me on Amazon, you've got a clear support level at around this $97. So I'm actually got an alert set below for it to break. And so on the retest, I can go short. Can it hold? Yeah, of course I can hold, but I'm more so waiting for the break and the retest to go short. Folks talking about possibly being able to go long here. You can. You've had this area in the past be resistance. Now it could possibly hold on to support, or you've already cracked above and this could be the retest. If the view app was near here, I would absolutely 100% go short, but we're up already nicely on the day. I'm not going to try to mess around and lose some more. Do any of you have any opinions about SMB trading? I'm familiar with the name, but I'm not familiar with more than that. So I have no insight, good or bad. I believe their YouTube videos are helpful. I've seen a couple of years ago, or like a year ago. Mitch, any insight there?
I mean, I've never been with the company, so I definitely won't give too much compliments about them or things against them. I mean, I think they're just a prop firm, and they do some education online. I think you can learn a little bit about their traders and maybe some strategies that they like to take. One thing that I would definitely say is that they at least try to go about things in a systematic way, right? They call it the playbook. So you guys can check out that. I know the leader or the CEO has written a book, I think, called The Playbook. So if you want to read that, check it out, right? There's always education. I think that one thing, though, you got to take at least with a grain of salt is always when they're trying to teach you strategies and get into a prop firm, you got to be careful about that. What works for them might not work for you. I think they talk about that also on SMB. So it's not like I would hit them all, Nate. They talk about it all the time. You got to know your personality. That's what SMB also recognizes often. So if you guys out there, find what matches your personality. 2 books there, says Dave. There you go. You guys can check out those books. I haven't read any of them. I'll just let you know, but Playbook and One Good Trade. There you go. Square to the upside. There you go.
Come on, Google. Give me a chance to short ya.
And now we're getting into more like kind of the chop zone. We're getting a slow leak down. It could be a slow leak down for the rest of the day, but I'll tell you what, team, you guys don't go anywhere because we do have an event that's coming up for you guys right now. It's starting up at 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get into Crypto Unlock. It's going to be featuring experts like Anthony Scaramucci, Josh Frazier, Nate Heineman, and Sunny Agarwal. Others included, of course. You guys can gain valuable insights into the opportunities and challenges of decentralized finance. Check that out, team. That's coming up next at 11 a.m. Eastern. You don't got to go anywhere. We'll redirect you right to it so you guys can find out what's going on in the crypto space.
SQ, by the way, held that retest of 65. Beautiful 60% move to the upside since then. Baba went ahead and held the lows of the day out of 92. Now that one's moving above VWAP here. 94.13 on that one. You never got the retest of 201.50s on Boeing.
Appreciate the shout out, Jan. And
That's
yeah,
awesome,
I know
dude.
a lot of people kind of catch the recordings. Sometimes, you can't be with us live. That's okay. It's not a big deal. I think the book club really is all about you guys getting value. And it looks like you're getting some value, Jan. And even if it's on the recordings, well, hey, enjoy those recordings and keep pushing forward, because that's what the book club's really all about. It's a free membership. So there's not many places that you can get free membership, really great value, and an exclusive community that's actually trying to grow. So shout out to you, Jan, and everybody that's in the book club. We'll keep pushing forward on there. You guys can always check it out. See if we get to 500 members by the end of the month. We still got a couple days, but we're pretty close. I'm trying to push towards it. It was my Q1 goal. So we'll see if we get there, team. Let's keep pushing forward. All right, 10 minutes till we get to the crypto action. We'll see if Google can continue down. That definitely was probably, at least the outlook wasn't bad at all. We'll see what happens. What happened with JD now is trying to come back through 41s. Will some China names rebound? It stopped me out earlier, looking like it's trying to rebound here off the 41s. We'll see if this kind of gets moving or not. Some China names. Baba was getting the big lift after their reorganization. They're pulling back now above VWAP. We'll look to see if some China names get moving today.
All right, I'm going to start heading down. I've got a call at 11, but someone asked, are we buying or shorting? I am currently, today has been mostly a short day for me, as is my life with my height, but I am looking to short Google here at 144 if we can get the fill. At the moment, it doesn't look like it, or if it wants to break 100 and go ahead and have the retest. Those are the two different opinions that I have on Google. None on Tesla until and unless we break 188 to the downside. That retest could be a nice little juicy short on Tesla. But all right, Mitch, I'm out. Chat, I'll be traveling, so I most likely won't be able to be here this week, but I'll see y'all in April. Good night.
There you go.
Good night. Depending on where you are, Switzerland, I don't know. Bye-bye.
What really Zunaid means is good night, for him too, right? He's taking a nap now.
100%.
It's 100%. Nap time, baby.
7-minute nap real quick. I'll see you later.
7-minute nap, and then he'll be on the option squawk, baby. You guys can keep up with the action. Keep up with the action. Keep up with Zunaid in the option game. Guys out there, smash the like. All right, we'll see what else is going on there. Zunaid bringing his stuff down. Let's take a look there. Overall sector outlook on the day. SPY coming down here. We'll see what starts leaking into the red. Will financial services get to the red? Keeping a close eye on that. APM came right back up to the 129.30s. So it just seems like there's a lot of fake outs there. And if the banks come back roaring, that's where we got to be kind of paying attention to see what happens there. FAZ, FAS, we'll see what happens there. I got stopped out on this one, just right on the pullback there, and maybe just got stopped out early, right? It still made the move just a little bit later. And so that's what we got to kind of catch there. We'll see what happens on this one. This one stopped me out when it came back through this 38s, but then finally made the move, right? Timing can be so important there on this action. We'll see what happens on the banks. Do they kind of push through? Do they come right back down? A lot of chop in these banks today. We'll see what happens when it keeps moving. FRC did get above the 14s, now pulling back. See if you get that move back to the 14s. If you guys are looking at that one, like always, these are regional banks. They're going to move all around. So we'll see what happens there. Walmart, it's not up 10, but it's down there. But we'll see what happens on Walmart. It is trying to do a little bit of a bounce back. We were looking at Costco yesterday, see if we're going to start making a move to 500. This actually rejected that move here. And so you can see right above it, it tried to get there towards 500, 499.86. Now right back down. We'll see what happens on these names. Defensive names, of course, McKesson had earnings today. Let's take a look at that. McKesson did have a nice little pop there out the gates. Man, what a move there. It was all about the spices today, man. What a trade there through 78.55 right out the gates, through the high, didn't stop. Nice 7% move there in McKesson. You don't see that happen too much The spice move. Man, what a little move there in McKesson. I didn't expect that one today off of the earnings. So that one's definitely a good one. We talked about PVH, right? How that's continued going. Your Calvin Klein. Get your Calvin Klein shirts ready. I know Luke will be on next in that crypto show. So stick around, team. We'll get you right over there in about 3 minutes. I'll be wrapping up. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other ones. How's the other kind of defensive names? Kraft Heinz. See what else is going on. Kraft Heinz company coming down there towards 38.50s. We'll see what happens on that one. Cal-Maine Foods has some earnings tonight. Was just looking at that. Lulu pulling back. We'll see what happens on that one. This seems like a tough day. Kind of slowing down now, though. Not making too many moves. CCL bouncing back on the day. Carnival getting a little bit of a bounce back. I know that someone had asked me about that one. Would it bounce back? It was a little bit of an overreaction, so it looks like it got a little bit of a nice move today, about 5.36 from the open. You can take a look at the other cruise lines. Those are pushing up a little bit higher here too. Norwegian cruise line pushing up a little bit higher. They don't look too bad today. Airlines didn't look too bad today. I'm going to see if American makes that move from the 14s today and continues a little bit higher. UAL bouncing up there towards 42.36. So I could see these airlines continuing to the upside. Maybe you want an ETF. You guys can look at Jets ETF. We'll see what happens there. Utilities having a good day there. Duke, Excel. These don't move often. They don't move like much on the intraday, but they could still continue riding the trend. And that's why these are interesting. Basic materials, we talked about X early on in the day. Would X have a nice day? It's pulled back multiple times. Now could look like it's take that next step up. We'll see what happens there. Industrial metals and minerals, we're definitely on watch to see what happens in some of the mineral plays after mention of the U.S. and Japan deal. Lithium names were on my radar. Missed this play on PLL. This one's definitely on the radar today. Just didn't even play it. MP pulling back here. We'll see what happens on that one. LAC was another one that I liked on the day. This one doesn't look too bad. I'll look to see if I can get the 2150s, maybe take a swing back to the upside on this one. And then SQM, I saw some like options trades kind of being mentioned in this one. This one doesn't look too bad, right? Let's take a look at the daily chart. It is pulling back here towards prior resistance around the 82.75s. So we're about a point from that to see if we could risk off of that. That'd be down to here. Doesn't look too bad. Actually, I might take a swing on SQM here. Let's go ahead. Let's try it out there. Let me see if I can get this entry here. All right, there you go. A little swing trade action. Just grab some at 94s, willing to add some at 83.50s. Going to hold down there towards the 82.75s on the day. We'll see what happens there on SQM. Kind of a lithium play there that I'm just trying to jump on after it had a nice little up move. I saw some unusual options. McCormick is the spice. McKesson is the healthcare. Thank you. No worries. Looks like I made a mistake there catching up with you guys in the chat. So maybe I might have said McKesson. It's McCormick. There you go. McCormick, MKC. Either way, the spice is moving. McCormick there. Sorry, I didn't even read it on the chart there. It's been that type of day. We'll see if this one gets a little bit higher. Nice little pullback to the VWAP. This one could push back there towards 83.50s, but it's been a monster rip there for McCormick. We'll see if this kind of turns around after a big move. You guys can continue watching and see if there's some other ones in there that kind of gets that lift, but big move there. Let's see if there's anything else making big moves in that space. Not much. Not much. I do see some upside action, but nothing really big there. General Mills, that doesn't look too bad on the last recent days. So it looks like some defensive names getting the lift. All right, X going to give it to you like always. IHS, not really a name that I like, but hey, it's a smaller name there. Telecom getting a nice little lift. It's continued to push. It's been a nice little lift up. I don't know why this one's moving, so I'd have to do a little bit more research. But nice little push there towards 833s. Daily levels, it could run into some resistance as it gets up here towards this close. You just kind of tapped it pretty close there. When was it close here? 836. So you went to 835. There's definitely some resistance at the 836. Look to see if you get through it. Then next level from there around the 850s. That's where you could get some continued upside action. We'll find out what happens on IHS. Google below 100, and you did me wrong, Google. You did me wrong today, team. Oh man, that 101.38 would have been my entry. Definitely would have took some profits towards the kind of 150 area. Then looking for that 100 break on the downside action on Google. But hey, it's going to be a miss. Didn't get the fill, and that happens sometimes. I mentioned it. It's going to happen. You know, it just blew through the bid there. I put a bid price. It blew through that. Didn't get no fill. And that's the second time today, so it's a little bit of a frustrating day for me. And some days you're going to have, great days. Some days you're going to have frustrating day. Today's one of those days where we go and use a little bit of redirection. How am I going to redirect? I'll go ahead and learn from some crypto action. That's coming up next. Don't miss it anywhere. Stay right here, team, as we get you to some crypto action starting up right now. Don't go anywhere.